Let's talk some movie news. So we got a couple of things to discuss here. It's a pretty light movie news week, but there's still some pretty good stuff here. So before we get into it, hit that subscribe and hit the notification. We talk all the things you love pop culture. Let's start off with Heretic, which is coming to streaming in March. So Heretic was one of those movies that I enjoyed. I don't really love it as much as I thought I would, but it's still a pretty fun movie. And I think it's more of a movie to watch at home for sure. March 7th, you'll be able to do that on HBO Max, and very excited to give it one more shot, right? So let's talk also about Smile star Sosie Bacon, who will be leading in a new comedy horror called Brett. So Brett follows Abby, who is played by Bacon, who returns home with her new fiance and stumbles upon her cherished childhood Brett doll. The doll suddenly awakens and professes his undying love for Abby and intends to prove that he can get all the parts of a real boy and win Abby back from her fiance. So sounds interesting. We'll see what happens with this one, but I think Sosie Bacon is a great actress, so I'm excited for this right here. If you were a fan of Baby Girl, or if you have not seen Baby Girl and were planning to watch it and you want to watch it in theaters, it is re-releasing for Valentine's Day, and this is being reported by Variety. So the film will be coming back on to the big screen. So I don't know. That was just some news to throw out there for you. Wolf Creek Legacy. I will tell you, I have never watched Wolf Creek. Should I watch Wolf Creek? Let me know in the comments down below. But Wolf Creek Legacy is coming to theaters. This is the third installment in the Australian slasher franchise, which follows a family of American tourists who wander innocently into Mick Taylor's hunting grounds. So the film will be coming out fall 2026 and is being released by Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting, who have acquired the North American rights for the film franchise. So we'll see what happens with this new one. If you're excited for Until Dawn and can't wait, they have now released new posters for each of the monsters that will be plaguing the victims. So very excited for Until Dawn. I think this premise, this sort of twist they're trying to do with the story, with the video game and all of that, and adapt it into a real world scenario makes sense. It has me excited, and we'll see what happens with it. I will be discussing it more. We've already done a gameplay for the video game Until Dawn. If you want to go check it out on the channel, maybe we'll get back into it, but we'll see what happens. But let me know what you think about the Until Dawn movie and if you're excited for it or not. So the How to Train Your Dragon has released a new trailer, and it showcases a little bit more of it. And I said it before, I've never watched the original. I will be watching it, but we see as the character of Hiccup, played by Mason Thames, and Toothless bond, and they work to try and establish peace between the humans and the dragons. I thought it looked pretty good. I saw the trailer for the first time when I went to watch Wicked, and I was excited for it. I'll definitely be watching this one, and we'll see. So The Night House is an upcoming psychological horror film which stars Jacob Tremblay as well as Aaron Paul, and they will be playing the same protagonist Richard at different ages. It says, in the wake of his parents' recent death, high schooler Richard has been sent to live with relatives in the remote town of Ballantine. One day, during an innocent prank call in a phone booth, Richard shockingly witnesses his classmate violently get sucked into the phone receiver and disappear without a trace. Police suspect Richard to be responsible, and no one believes his story except Karen, a fellow teenage outsider. As Richard and Karen try to understand their friend's unspeakable death, they soon realize they have unleashed terrifying evil forces. As reality starts to blur, can Richard even trust himself? This sounds pretty good, honestly. I hadn't even read this, but I am interested in seeing what this will be. The Night House. Two great actors as well. So, Karl Urban is playing Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2. If you hadn't remembered that or even knew that, I am in the same boat with you. I really forgot about this. Well, Karl Urban will be coming to the new film, and the cast includes Martin Ford, Desmond Chiam, Anna Tuwin, Damon Herman, Tati Gabrielle, and Adeline Rudolph. This is going to be the second installment in the Mortal Kombat film we got a couple of years ago, and they released a poster that kind of showcases a mock film that Johnny Cage is, because if you know, Johnny Cage is an actor who goes to the Mortal Kombat world and fights. That's pretty much it. I think Karl Urban's great. I think he definitely has the look for what we want from Johnny Cage, and we'll see how it is. But Mortal Kombat 2 will be coming out later this year, I believe, so we'll see what happens. October 24th, 2025, that is the release date. So We'll see. Wes Anderson's new film, The Phoenician Scheme, is set to release on May 2025, and the film will have a limited release come May 30th, and then an expansion on June 6th. The film follows the story of a family and a family business. It stars Benicio del Toro. In it, you also have Mia Throppleton, as well as Michael Cera. You also have in the cast Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Riz Ahmed, Matthew Amalric, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Richard Ayoade, Rupert Friend, Hope Davis, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And we'll see what happens with this one. Very, very curious to see this one. I still have to watch Asteroid City, y'all. Dave Bautista will be starring in a dystopian sci-fi thriller named Dreadnought. And this is a very interesting one for sure. We'll keep our eyes peeled for what this is going to be about. But it says Max, played by Bautista, whose world was devastated when an alien species crash landed on Earth, unleashing a deadly plague that claimed his wife and much of humanity. But we'll see what this one's going to look like and what it will take. But very excited to see Dave Bautista working always. A new trailer for the Friendship film by A24, which stars Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson, has been released. This has been one of my most anticipated films since it premiered at TIFF last year. Very happy to hear it's going to be releasing this summer in May, but we also will be trying to watch this at South by Southwest. This film stars Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. If you have not watched Tim Robinson's show, it is highly recommended. Very funny. It says Friendship follows Craig Waterman, played by Robinson, who enjoys his life. He likes New Balance shoes, Subway sandwiches, and Marvel movies. He lives in the suburbs with his wife Tammy, played by Kate Mara, and son Steven, played by Jack Dylan Grazer. He's happy to work at Universal Digital, a company that helps make brands their products more habit forming. Craig sees no reason to change anything or make new friends until weatherman Austin, played by Paul Rudd, moves into the neighborhood. Mysterious yet friendly, macho but vulnerable, Austin transforms everything for Craig, but Craig's obsessive and childlike nature threatens to ruin the friendship and possibly everything else in his life. So we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for this one. It looked hilarious from the trailer, and we shall be watching this one. But the last piece of news I have for you today is that Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin, and Guy Pearce have joined Jacob Elordi in Ridley Scott's next film, The Dog Star. So I'm very excited to hear about this. It's a very stellar cast indeed, and we will be awaiting to see what this is. All it says from Deadline is The Dog Star is set in a near future where society has changed profoundly. Elordi plays Hig, a civilian pilot living on an abandoned Colorado air base with his dog. In an unlikely circumstance, he meets a tough ex-Marine called Bangley that will be played by Josh Brolin, and they are forced to work together to navigate this dangerous and uncompromising new world. One day, when a random transmission beams through the radio of Hig's beloved Cessna plane, the voice ignites a hope deep inside the pilot that a new life may exist outside their tightly controlled perimeter. Risking everything, he flies past his point of no return and follows its static, broken trail. Qualley will play Seema, a young doctor and daughter of a world-weary rancher, to be played by Guy Pearce, who Hig meets along his fraught and life-changing journey. So, I don't know, it sounds interesting. We'll see what it is. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything we covered today, from the new Wes Anderson film, as well as this new Ridley Scott film, and some releases coming later this year as well. As always, that's going to do it for me. This was the news so far. We'll have another news video on Friday, and I'll see you next time. In the meantime, if you want to be on the up-to-date of everything happening around pop culture, our website is updated every single day with every single piece of news that you want. So go over there to www.culturalelixir.com, or you can follow us on TikTok as well as our Instagram. I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.